Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Notre Dame Primetime Live. I am your host, Ryan Fravel, with my co-host, Ben. Sean is not with us again. He's got some other stuff going on. But we are back for another show, this time after another W, the second straight win for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish on the road at Arkansas, 56-13. And what my favorite phrase, belt to ass. That's what that was from start to finish. Um, what were your thoughts watching the game, Ben?
Nope, it was a lot of good. I kind of felt like this was going to be one of the outcomes. One outcome was, of course, that we were going to just be an absolute shootout, and it was going to end like 50-45 or something, like something crazy like that. That was one of the outcomes I expected. This was another outcome where our offense was so good and our defense was able to get stops early on to get Arkansas off schedule,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of get them kind of forcing things that they didn't need to force, and us getting stops and us keep scoring. Our offense is possibly a top five offense in college football. It's just one of those things where we just don't have a good defense right now.
Yeah, so and me and Teach and I kind of talked about this in the group chat last night, and I thought like I'm maybe overstated it when I said I saw a drastic improvement from the defense because it was such a low bar that they had to cross. To me, holding Arkansas to 13 points is drastically better than giving up 30 to Purdue. Now you look at the yardage. I think we gave something like 365 total yards of offense to Arkansas, which isn't great. But I also kind of look at it was Arkansas was the number one offense in college football heading into that game, and you held them to 13 points. Now, granted, I think in the second half, I think the entire team just kind of gave up in the second half. So I think that's part of it. But I just think for a defense that was struggling to stop a nosebleed, to hold Taylor Green in that offense to 13 points, even with all the yardage they gave up, that's still impressive compared to what they were.
That's the big thing with me. We still gave up a lot of yards. I guess it's more of like the idea that we were kind of in bend don't break, which
Yeah.
when they're going for 4th and 8, like that's kind of what you expect. A lot of yards given up, but not a lot of points scored.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of in the beginning. I felt more confident with us being able to get. If we're able to do that against every team we play for the rest of the season, we're able to go out, get good stops at the beginning of the game, and our offense goes and scores. Then we're gonna be great. We're gonna be set for great things. But we have to do that every single game. And also, we don't know if we're going to get in these situations where teams are going for it on 4th and 8. We don't know that. We also don't know if we're going to be in situations where our offense has got to put up damn near 60 points.
Yeah. This is what back to back weeks they've dropped 56. Uh, I do think, like you said, this offense is arguably top five in the nation. I look at Texas A&M's defense, right, and a lot of people were like, "Well, maybe Texas A&M defense isn't that good." You watch them against Auburn. Now, granted, Auburn doesn't have the greatest offense in the world. They've got some really good receivers, um, but you saw what they did against Auburn, where they just completely shut down Auburn. I still think them dropping 41 on Texas A&M is super impressive, or not 41, 40. Couldn't get 41 because of Tyler Buckner. Um, but
Hey,
I just
shout out his sister. She scored a goal.
hey, shout out Tyler Buckner's sister for scoring a
She was
goal.
able to make sure Notre Dame got 1 point on the board.
Maybe put her back at holder, man.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I think this is the game that Notre Dame needed after the way the season started. The game against Purdue, which there was a lot of frustration. You could tell from Freeman, the staff, the fan base, to just go out there and just completely obliterate your opponent wire to wire. And granted, people are going to say it's just Arkansas. They're not that good. They're 2-3. They just fired their head coach. I realistically, I think this Arkansas team is better than what the record says. They realistically should have beat Memphis. Ole Miss, I can't really give them because, like we talked about earlier, that was what a 14-point game with
It
like
was a 2 minutes left. It was a 14-point game, and then
yeah,
Arkansas went down the field and scored.
yeah. So they should at least have been 3-1 going into that game. I just and to me, you saw how good Ole Miss was against LSU. I think Arkansas was a good team. I think at this point, what happened against Memphis, I think the team just kind of quit. They knew their coach was getting
Probably fired. Yeah.
and I think they had nothing to, and then the minute that Notre Dame had that 21 points scored in the final 3 minutes of the first half, I think that's where they just kind of gave up. You go watch that play with Price, that the final touchdown before half. You can't tell me those guys were giving full effort.
Yeah. Well, the big thing, and we could compare us against Ole Miss. It's like, oh well, Ole Miss. I don't think Ole Miss's defense is that good. I think their offense is really good. That's why I think they were able to beat LSU is because of how good that offense is. Because LSU's defense is that good. I just think LSU's offense is that bad, even though they have. It's Brian Kelly. Like he needs to hire better OCs. Like Garrett Nussmeier somehow regressed, but they still have Kelly Anderson, one of the best wide receivers in the country.
Yeah.
But or is it Ken Anderson or Kelly?
I think is it Nick Anderson?
Nick Anderson.
Nick.
Stephen Anderson. They have Anderson, one of the best receivers in the country. So I'm not gonna completely just say like, oh, we're automatically better than Ole Miss. But at the end of the day, we went out there. This is a Power 4 team. This is one of those teams, and I got shit for it. I said that, hey, you know what? This is a team that an SEC school says, oh, well, you didn't have to go into Arkansas week 6 after a fucking bludgeoning of games and playing the SEC. We're getting that game now. This is where I think if we see this Notre Dame team for the rest of the season, the ability to get the big stops early, get the big plays early, and then allow our offense to take over, I think that we can make the playoffs. Because what it's turning out to be right now is you're slowly starting to see what teams aren't really that good, what teams are that good.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly starting to see it. Now, if Ole Miss goes out there and wins the SEC, it's completely different. And I'm 100% wrong. I just don't think Ole Miss is going to win. Got to be a 10-win team this year. They have a tough schedule. LSU probably around the same now. I had LSU being a one-loss team going into the SEC championship. I don't think they make the SEC championship anymore, and they might be a 3-loss team. There's just so many problems with how we're looking at right now of college football, looking at the teams that have to play. Alabama, I hear people saying Alabama's, oh, well, they're at least a 2-loss team. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, they probably beat Vandy, but are they going to win the other games they have to win? We don't know. Are they
There's so much.
No.
There's so much unknown right now in the season because, like, what was the overreaction when Florida State blew out Bama week 1?
It was Florida State was back and Alabama's falling apart.
And now we see the reverse of that, where Florida State loses to an unranked Virginia team, which, by the way, that Virginia team is sneaky good. I wish that Notre Dame had them on the schedule.
They're an okay team.
They're okay.
I don't want to have them on the schedule because that doesn't help our resume because they're not going to be ranked.
You don't think that with their offense that they can score on pretty much anybody, and their defense.
I want them to be. If we play them, I want them to be ranked, and because then that's a win. The only thing that can do it can only lead to bad things with them being unranked and them being sneaky good.
Yeah, and then when you see Alabama go out there and beat Georgia again, it's just weird. You know, this weekend was kind of a weekend in narratives because Penn State loses yet another big game against Oregon. Alabama beats Georgia, which the whole narrative is that Georgia just can't beat Bama for whatever reason. And man, to me, it's like there's so many unknowns right now. I don't really want to talk about playoffs. Like as a fan, I don't want to sit here and be like Notre Dame in playoff, right? Because I still think there's a long way to go. We still need to see a lot of improvement with the defense. The offense, to me, is playoff caliber right now. The defense needs some work, but I do think just because we are on a show, I guess we'll kind of talk about it briefly.
Well, the big thing with me is that you look at Florida State. Now you have Florida State who has one loss, and they had problems in that game. It wasn't they were just getting completely out. They're getting their asses handed to them. So now you're going to have them go against Miami this week. They're going to have to bounce back. They're going to have to win this game against Miami. They really are. Because they're going to want to make the AACC championship. They don't play Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech probably, with one loss being to Miami, is going to make it in now to the ACC championship. Assuming Georgia Tech doesn't lose, even with 2 losses, and one of them being Miami and another team. And then you got to look at games like Clemson. Clemson, even though we don't think Clemson's that good, just tell me that's not college football fan. Like a team that's underperformed all
Yeah.
year gets a bounce back against the top 15 team. Like that's like it puts these things in situations where hey, this is where teams could make mistakes. Notre Dame could pounce and make the playoffs. Also,
Yeah.
the Big 12, it's looking like it's got to be a league now where it's not got to be a 2-win team's going to win the Big 12. It might be a or 3-win team or 3-loss team. Oh my God, let me repeat that. It doesn't look like a 2-loss team is going to win the Big 12 unless it's Texas Tech. It's looking like it's got to be a 3-loss team win the Big 12.
Yeah. I think, and I've seen a lot of projections, and it's a lot of it's came down to like Notre Dame at 10-2 versus an Indiana team that's 10-2. Who do you put in? And
They're
ten and
both
two
making
Notre
it.
Dame. But that's for the final spot. That's who they're like. That's the projections. I think they had like 5 SEC teams. You had Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon in there. I think they had Illinois, not Illinois.
No.
There was somebody else that got in. 2 ACC teams got in. They had Florida State and Miami getting in. Uh, and to me, it's like if you're Notre Dame, right? And I was listening to Ari talk about this on him and Andy show, and I get where he's coming from, where it's not a lock because I don't think it's a lock. There are some people in our fan base that are acting like it is if we go 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we saw Saturday, Notre Dame needs to replicate against everybody else to leave no doubt. Because, for example, like I think when we play USC, especially with how USC fumbled the bag against Illinois, USC
We need to beat USC by 2 possessions. That's why I think.
at least
Yeah.
that game can't be close. Um, and well, we play
I think
Navy.
it could be close by I think it has to be at least a 2 possession game.
I'm saying like it can't be like where we're struggling from wire to wire and we win by like 3. I don't think you can do that and be like, oh, that's an impressive win. You know what I mean? Like that. Outside of USC, I think you need to have scores like this. I think when we play Boise, you need to probably put 40 plus on Boise. Win by 20 plus. You need to. Well, who do we play after USC? Is like our Navy, I'd imagine. Is it Navy? I'm trying to think who was on the schedule.
I know we
But
go to Pitt.
but yeah, like
Some
and
point.
just in general, like I think you gotta win this way. And we'll
After
get
so it's
into
USC, and then it's going to Boston College, which might be a trap
yeah.
game. Then it's Navy, then it's at Pitt.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say
You need to
that stretch of games is where and I think if we game past USC, that 3 stretches of games is where I'm most scared about. It's the
going to
trap
Chestnut. Yeah.
going to Chestnut. It's going to be the biggest game of their season, realistically. I don't think Boston College plays a single ranked team, and they're not good, but they're going to sell it out. They have athletes. Actually, they lost to Stanford. They're really not good, but it's the biggest game of their season, realistically.
Yeah.
At home. Right now, tickets are selling for $240 a piece, so they're gonna give a shit a lot about that game. That scares me. The Navy game scares me in a way where I could just definitely see it being like something stupid happens and it's really close. I don't think we lose it, but it's something where it kind of hurts your resume winning a close game. And then the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh game scares me because Pittsburgh looked good this past week without their number 1 running back. And that's something that scares me on the defensive side. We could put up 40 points, but if they get into a game where they're going to run it down our throats the whole time and we can't get a stop, and we're not going to be able to put up 40 points. We're not going to get enough possessions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm in the same, but I think Navy, I'm not as much, mainly because I think
I just
that'll
think
be the
Navy
one.
can be a resume killer.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that Navy for that one, right? I think that would be the one game where Chris Ash is like, we're not going to run zone because you don't run zone against a triple option style offense. I think we would see more of a traditional Notre Dame, and I'm not really
Mhm.
fearful of Navy's passing game, although I know Horvath can throw the ball. So that one I'm not too as. But the thing I did think was interesting, and I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on this, because not many people were talking. Obviously, it's not a big deal, but they people came out. I was surprised. Like I wasn't expecting some crazy jump, but us only moving up 1 spot for winning by 40 against an SEC team on the road. Like, I'm honestly surprised that we didn't jump at least inside the top 20.
I'm just looking at the top how it went. Let me pull it up. There were some things I did see. It kind of made sense to me. But I also could definitely see it being like, hey, like Arkansas, they're a two-loss team. Two-loss team. Jesus Christ. Sorry. They're a two-loss team. Like Michigan, I feel like they're setting it up for Michigan to possibly move down. Illinois went up a spot.
Yeah,
BYU going ranked. I feel like it has a lot to do with like the teams that went in high up. Like you're not going to drop us below Florida State, or you're not going to drop Florida State below us. You're
yeah,
not going to drop Georgia Tech below us, even after a win. You're not going to drop Michigan below us with a loss. And Missouri has to stay above it. Like I'm fine with us being above one loss, like Big Ten, and then one loss teams that have big wins. I'm fine with us being like that compared to us being above Florida State. Maybe you could make an excuse for us being above Vandy because Vandy really South Carolina, if that win
it's their
ends up
best win.
being a good win, like maybe that, maybe Missouri too, because Missouri, who have they played?
Their best win, South Carolina too.
Oh yeah,
And
so both of their best wins are a 3-2 South Carolina team who realistically like don't have amazing wins. Like they're not going to be ranked at the end of the season unless something turns around. So I could definitely see that, but I'm not really. Oh, you have the rankings right here. Oh, I was looking
yeah.
at
So
ESPN.
do you think like because the only thing that concerned me with it was obviously things will change. These teams will all lose more games going on in the season. But it does concern me. It's
Mhm.
like, what is if Notre Dame wins by 40 against an SEC team on the road and we only move up one spot? What does that say if we continue to do this against lower level competition? Are we just going to continue to just slide up one spot at a time? Is it just going to be because I mean, even some teams jumped over us this week in the rankings.
A
Like,
lot of the teams that jumped over us were either one-loss teams with top who beat Florida
yeah,
State, or we're actually the rest of them were just Virginia. Virginia actually no, Virginia didn't even jump over us. Who jumped over us?
I think it
I think
was
anyone
it.
did.
Was it? Oh, no, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm
Liberty
about
did.
to say we jumped everybody. We didn't jump anybody.
Yeah. The other one I'd have a problem with, and this is just because I don't really think they're that good of a team, is Iowa State. I get it. They're like, I think they're 5-0,
Yeah, they're
but
5-0.
their best win is what? Like
Kansas State
Iowa,
or Iowa. Yeah.
and and they didn't even really, they won that game like 16-13. I don't know. It's kind
Like
of
just
griping. It's
looking
just,
just looking at the schedules that we have here. Tennessee, Alabama. Okay, so they both Tennessee and Alabama have to play Oklahoma, and
yeah.
they play each other. So there's at least I think Oklahoma's the best team in the SEC. They're looking like it at least. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
either them, A&M, or maybe Ole Miss, or maybe Georgia. I'm out on Georgia right now just because they lost. But realistically speaking, they're going to have to both. One of those teams is going to be a 3-loss team. If it's Tennessee loses to Alabama and Oklahoma, or if it's Alabama loses to Tennessee, Oklahoma, one of them will be a 3-loss team now. Other things, LSU's schedule. They have to play A&M. I think A&M beats them.
Yeah.
They have to play Georgia. I think Georgia beats them. There's parts in there that can lead to, or no, LSU doesn't play Georgia. Who does LSU play? They play somebody.
LSU plays A&M. I know that.
Play A&M.
Mm-hmm.
Before the game, I thought that was a guaranteed loss for A&M.
They play Bama,
Oh,
don't they?
Oklahoma and Bama.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're probably going to lose to Oklahoma. They'll probably go. I don't know if they'll lose to Bama. They'll probably lose to Oklahoma and A&M. That's another 3-loss team. We're going to slowly, and at the beginning, it felt like, oh, it's kind of hard for us to do it. Like, we don't know how many 3-loss teams it will be. It's slowly we'll see 3-loss teams come around. So I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. I
Iowa
do
State,
think,
I agree, just isn't. That's why
yeah.
they're underdogs this week against UC.
It's just frustrating because, like,
Yeah.
as a guy that watches college football, I think you and me would agree that Notre Dame's probably a top 15 team.
Mhm.
Where I think Notre Dame's better than at least 5 of the teams that are ranked ahead of them,
Mhm.
and that's kind of where it's like I get why they're ranking this way because they're going from more resume, what you've done to this point, and most deserving. I'm thinking of it as more like a power ranking where it's like if Notre Dame played Missouri tomorrow, I think Notre Dame's going to beat Missouri.
We'll beat Michigan if we played them. We beat Missouri. We maybe beat Florida State. I don't really know. I'm giving Florida State the benefit of the doubt, even though they look terrible against Virginia. We beat Georgia Tech because Georgia Tech legitimately could not throw the football. Georgia Tech's is a basically better version of Navy.
Yeah.
I think we beat Vandy. Vandy's defense isn't that great. Beat probably Tennessee. We definitely beat Iowa State. We beat Texas Tech. I think we beat IU just because I'll say that now. We'll play IU in the playoffs, and some fucking idiot's got to come back and clip this.
Dude, out of all the first round matchups that we could get, like I've seen people say Notre Dame at LSU. If you told me Notre Dame at Indiana, first round on the road in
I'd be
Bloomington,
pissed.
why would you be pissed? I think that'd be easy.
We get fucking murdered, bro. We can't stop a pass. They have one of the best quarterbacks in college football.
I'm talking about like, would you rather play on the road in Bloomington or on the road in Death Valley?
Death Valley. Rather win.
Because well, if realistically, right, if we played in Bloomington, what percentage of that crowd is Notre Dame fans?
I don't really know.
That's
Maybe a decent amount.
Like we'd probably.
I think it'd be the same as IU was last year.
You don't think it'd be more for Notre Dame because it's more
No.
of a.
Because that took like full force for IU not to take over. I think IU does better at that than we do. There was when we were there for the Illinois game 2 weeks ago. Well, a week ago basically. It wasn't that many Illinois fans there. Why do we put stupid people saying stupid shit?
Oh Jesus!
Who the fuck is this guy?
I have no idea. Oh man.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, getting back to the defense, right? Is there anything like any concerns you have leaving the Arkansas game? I know people were kind of getting on Drake Bowen a little bit group chat earlier.
I don't blame Drake Bowen for that shit at all. He's just not a.
He's not a coverage linebacker.
He's not a coverage linebacker one, and you're playing a quarterback that he's probably a spy on most of the time. He's watching the quarterback. I don't blame him for that play. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, look at this!" Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like,
people were calling him ass and all this, and I'm like, dude.
If you want to see ass, go watch Arkansas's linebackers, dude. They were fucking terrible. At least Drake Bowen can tackle.
Yeah. At least he gets one kill shot a game. But no, like I think if you want to criticize him for not being a coverage linebacker, it's like we've known that he's not very good in coverage since he's been at Notre Dame. There's a reason why we have Osbury, Sneed, and KVA come in on passing situations because I think Freeman realizes that. But to say he's ass, I mean you don't just happen to be ass and be the guy that has the green dot on your helmet and is getting everybody set, telling everybody the plays and all that stuff. And
I think we got too used to Jack Kaiser.
Yeah. Or like a JD Bertrand.
Jack Kaiser, he was okay at coverage. I think we forget Jack Kaiser had these moments too where he got blown up in coverage.
Yeah, I mean,
the only difference is that he got the pick against Penn State, so people
have good memories of JD Bertrand, right? He got cooked a lot when he was in coverage. And typically, again, I don't know how many Mike linebackers are great in pass coverage, right? Like if you're a Mike linebacker and you're great in pass coverage, you're most likely going to be a first round NFL draft pick. Like, yeah. It's just I don't think that's why you kind of have the Will and the other guys on there to kind of cover that. But and then one last thing, CJ Carr, he got nominated as one of the top 8 players, top 8 quarterbacks this past week for the Manning Award.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about him a few times. He is something special.
He, in my personal opinion, if I were to rank quarterbacks right now, I put CJ Carr as the 5th best quarterback in college football.
Top 5?
Put him top 5. If we're looking at what he can do for you, and I'm looking at from an example of not just winning it this year, but in the future as well, because he has another year of eligibility. I'd put him at 5.
Who are you putting with him in the top 5? Mateer?
Mateer, I was in between Mateer and Dante Moore at 1 and 2. The main thing with Dante Moore is I'm hearing a lot more that he's probably going to get drafted. So that's why I kind of put Mateer above, because I'm not hearing a lot about Mateer. Mateer can't even get drafted, right? He's a redshirt
No,
freshman.
he's a fifth year guy.
He's a 5th-year guy? Why is he not hitting draft talks then? Are you
I've,
sure John Mateer's a 5th-year guy?
I'm sure. I think so. Let me see. Because I think he's
Junior.
Oh, he's a junior? Okay.
Yeah, he's a junior, so he has another year.
Okay. Yeah.
But I would put, just purely because Mateer's just doing so well, it might just be the system, but realistically, he's doing well enough to where I believe that he's a really good quarterback.
Mhm.
I'd probably put him under Dante Moore if we're talking about right now, right here, but just because Mateer has the ability to come back if he wants to. The Dante Moore, where it seems like the option is going to be he goes and gets drafted, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I understand trying to make it sound like, oh, it's a bad thing. Like, nothing wrong with it. But him, Mateer, Mendoza, I'd say Mendoza and Carr are flip flop right now at 3 and 4.
Yeah, and
And
you know
number
it's
5 would
crazy.
be the, yep.
It's crazy saying that because you see all the Michigan fans in the college football groups. Is Bryce Underwood's better than TJ Carr?
Like, Bryce Underwood has the worst QBR in Big Ten play. Like, you
Like,
can only put a little bit of blame on the wide receiver. You still have the worst QBR. Like, you can be like, oh, well, his wide receiver has drops. I'm like, okay, you take away the wide receiver drops. He maybe goes from the worst QBR to like the 3rd worst. Like, what
yeah. And
do
again,
you
like
mean?
I get, and I would agree, CJ Carr has a way better receiver core, but realistically, Malachi Fields, fucking amazing, great. He's been a great addition. Jordan Faison, we can't sit up here and say he's been great. There's nothing to, but he was a walk on
Mm-hmm.
originally. So like, you can't tell me Michigan can't find a Jordan Faison or Bryce Underwood can't make his
Well, no,
receivers.
because they want to pay every player. They don't want to actually go out there and recruit them and scout them and see if they're good or not. They'd rather give them they'd rather have 247 tell them who's good than write them a check.
I had people tell me Donovan McCulley was a top 10 receiver in college football. Now all of a sudden, doesn't Bryce Underwood has the worst QBR in the Big Ten. Donovan McCulley is dog shit. So it's like,
Well, and the other thing with it too is like we look at the future with CJ Carr. He's
yeah.
not going to lose Jordan Faison. He's not going to lose Jane Greyhouse, even though someone on this panel thinks otherwise.
I don't
Um,
anymore. I don't anymore.
he's not going to lose those guys. Those guys will be there next year. Eli Reardon, he's a sophomore. He's a redshirt sophomore.
I thought he was a junior. Let me see.
He has a
We'll
year
go.
left. I want to say the only person who doesn't have any time left is Fields.
Yeah, it is Fields. Reardon is a senior.
But is he a redshirt senior or senior?
It just says senior. It doesn't say redshirt on the official website.
I have to go back. I'll see if I can find it. But there's a list of people and their eligibility. See if I can find it.
So he was a freshman in 22. 20 he played. He
Here it
played
is.
in
Irish Sports
5 games.
Daily. So our players.
He doesn't have a redshirt year because this is freshman year. He played in 5 games and didn't redshirt
But he could get. But he could realistically. He could maybe get a waiver.
for the
Even
medical
though
year.
medical year, he could get
Yeah,
a waiver. But even then, if he doesn't get it, we still have Flanagan, right?
yeah. We have Flanagan. You
We
have
have Ty Washington.
Ian
We have
Premer
Ian
coming
Primer. Yeah,
in. Preston
that's a
Franco.
situation. That's also there's guys who we can bring in as well in transfer portal if we feel like those guys aren't going to be able to compete for it, which is fine. Another
Yeah.
thing is this O line's only going to get better because our O line, I want to say everybody except Jagasol has eligibility. Well, actually, Jagasol if he doesn't come back this year, which I would
Yeah.
not shock me if he doesn't, because supposedly he got delayed on his injury.
Yeah,
They
that's
all have
crazy.
eligibility, but yeah, I think we'll be fine with that.
But no, CJ Carr being a top 5 quarterback is interesting because like I haven't this
Like,
year I haven't really
Can you name me five? Can you name me 5 quarterbacks who have done better than CJ Carr? Like realistically, done better all the way through. And don't use the excuse of, oh, well, he has better wide receivers. Because guess what? Joe Burrow had the best fucking wide receivers in college football. In the one group, he had the best, possibly one of the best college football group or wide receiver groups in the country of all time. He was still a top quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa, still a top quarterback. Fucking Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray had either CeeDee Lamb, Marquise Brown. Like, they had top tier wide receivers.
Yeah. And to me, that's just a casual take, because if you watch some of the throws that CJ makes, I pinpointed just being there live. That throw he had to Raritan on the sideline, where he put it, it was a back shoulder fade towards the sideline, where it was placed perfectly, where only Raritan could get it. I'm like, I can't remember the last time I've seen a Notre Dame quarterback make that type of throw since probably Jimmy Clausen or Brady Quinn. And I don't really remember those throws that much because I'm like 7, 9 years old. But like, and then was it the throw to Greathouse, where Greathouse, the same thing, it was a back shoulder throw where only Greathouse could get it. Greathouse toe taps. Like, that's something Notre Dame hasn't had at the quarterback position in a very long time. And it's still early in his career, right? But he's getting better game by game. I'm not saying this year, but I would not be surprised if he's a Heisman candidate at some point during his career at Notre Dame, depending on how long he stays.
If next year, I feel like he could be. And if he stays past next year, I feel like it's 100% he'll be a preseason Heisman contender.
Yeah, and you see, was the Boise State head coach came out and said he's a first round pick.
Yes.
I really hope CJ, like, it's selfish, right? But I hope that he stays for another 2 years after this year, because I think
if he wants to leave after next year, it's because he's a first round pick. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And if it's like, okay, we have to go to Tay Gerard a little bit early, or maybe Blake Heber has to come in, or maybe we have to go to the portal. Like, there's guys in the portal around CJ's like time that we could definitely. Hell, if Kenny Minchie, I don't know what the odds are of it. I'm trying to do quick math in my head here. Well, I don't know, if we keep blowing teams out, Kenny Minchie's got to get a lot more playing time, so it's going to fuck that up. But maybe Kenny Minchie could stay for I'm going to look it up real fast, but I want to say Kenny Minchie might be able to play like a redshirt senior year.
Do you think he'd be willing to stay that long?
If he stays next year, if he stays for next year, I could definitely see it happening.
Kind of give him like the talk of, if you stay, you'll be guaranteed the spot.
Because Noah Grubb, I understand. Like, I'm a Noah Grubb supporter, but Noah Grubbs isn't beating out redshirt senior Kenny Minchie. I hate to tell you guys that. He's not doing it. If Kenny Minchie gets him that close with CJ Gardner in camp, he's not beating out redshirt senior Kenny Minchie. Unless Noah Grubbs gets a lot faster and a lot better. And then it's going to be, well, can Kenny Minchie beat out the true freshman Tay Gerard? So right now, if Kenny Minchie were to stay, so next year would be his redshirt junior year. The year after that would be his redshirt senior year. So if he stayed next year, and CJ Carr went to the draft, I would see no reason why Kenny Minchie would want to leave.
He'd be guaranteed the starting job for a year. Yeah,
and he's already basically, like, let's be real here. I understand he probably thought he could win the starting job this year. Like, it was probably in the back of his head that was possible, but he had to have some sort of understanding, like, hey, I might not win the starting job, and like I might be behind this guy. So he's already committed to the team. He could have left. He could have took a MAC job somewhere. We'll play our lower college level school, maybe even a Power 5 school. Maybe like BYU, because they had that quarterback mix up at the end of their shit.
Yeah.
He could have done that, and he didn't do it. He's committed to this team in some sort of way. If it's being the starting quarterback, or if it's trying to win a championship here.
Which, by the way, looking back now at the reports of he was pushing Carr, if Carr is this good, like, I think there's some context, right? I think Carr was pushing things to win the job. Mm-hmm. But realistically, I think that speaks volumes of how good really is Kenny if he pushed CJ Carr that far into fall camp for the starting job, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I still think Carr, obviously, I think we made the right decision, clearly. But I think even when the moments you've seen Kenny come up in mop-up duty, he's looked good. Like, he's looked really good.
Well, another thing, back to the Kenny like leaving thing, it's like Jabir Payne. Like, we thought he was going to leave after last year. Like, it made no sense for Payne to stay, but he still stayed.
We thought he was going to leave the last 2 years, and he stayed.
Yeah. And Payne next year might be our RB1. Him and Aeneas Williams are going to compete for the RB1 spot. Realistically, it might be a 3-head backfield with Kendra Young or Nolan James.
Yeah.
Kedron Young or Nolan James. But yeah.
All right. Real quick, we'll go into our next topic, but first, a quick word from our boy Mark.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
Thank you for that, Mark. Now back to our next topic. Notre Dame landed another commitment in the 2027 class. Ironically enough, it was another Notre Dame legacy kid, this time the son of former Notre Dame D tackle Jim Flanagan, who was a star defensive lineman for the 1993 team that took down #1 Florida State, a year that Notre Dame probably should have got the national championship for. So he's a 4-star offensive guard / D tackle. Everybody kind of thought this is where this was heading, this recruitment. So we're kind of going to go over some, film, just kind of watch some film on him early on. But early thoughts on this commitment for Notre Dame?
This is a 2027 kid, right?
Yep.
It's building a big part of the class. He's a 4-star. Of course, things change when we get further into the recruiting cycle, but right now he's a 4-star, so it's big for the class. It's great to see more of the legacy kids come here. As long as we keep it up on the field, I think we'll keep seeing more and more legacy kids come in. He seems like a kid that he kind of has options on where to go. I see a lot of people trying to say he isn't that good, but then you go and see the schools offering him are schools that are pretty good at getting D linemen, like Michigan, Ohio State. These are schools that were heavily involved in them. And just because he chose Notre Dame, of course, you're going to hear the Michigan fans say, oh, he wasn't a take. Because every player who doesn't go to Michigan isn't a take because they're fucking stupid. But yeah.
Yeah, I do find it interesting that he's plays both ways. He plays D tackle and he also plays interior offensive line. Evidently I was listening to Mike Singer talk about this recruitment and kind of evidently Joe Rudolph, our offensive line coach, loves him at offensive line. And it kind of was a situation where Al Washington's like, no, he's going to play D tackle for me. I do like, for just watching some of this tape here, he's got some power to him. Mm-hmm. You see where he's, taking on double teams. There's a play in here where he's actually facing off against one of our 2025 commits in Owen Strebig, who is a 4-star offensive tackle, top 100 player, and he was handling a double team from him and another guy pretty well, and actually allowed his linebackers to go in there and make a play. Something that I feel like Notre Dame's missed on the interior is those guys that just have those power, that ability to have the strength, the size, the power to handle double teams, create holes for the linebackers to kind of come in and clean up. And I think it's something that Notre Dame only needs more of. You can never have too many defensive linemen, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. And add on, this kid had offers from Michigan, great D-line school. Wisconsin, a pretty good D-line school. I wouldn't shock me if Wisconsin also wanted him to more maybe play O-line just because of that. But yeah, he has great offers up and down. It also seems like he has smart school offers, aka Duke and Stanford and Northwestern. So it shows you get good grades, play at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's the fourth commitment in the 2027 class, along with Teddy Gerard, Ellis McGaskin from Mobile. Ironically, Flanagan's from
Hey, don't forget about Sean Kraft, our long snapper.
Sean Kraft, our 5-star long snapper.
Yeah.
But
He probably saw Tyler Buckner fuck that shit up, and he's like, "What are we doing, T? What are we doing, T? What are we doing, TB?"
That was a bad snap.
Best part was is I could officially say, even though Tyler Buckner fucked up the hold, he also fucked up the throw. So Tyler Buckner did in fact cost us the win with his arm. He had the guy wide open in the end zone. He overthrew him.
Well, I still don't know who number 25 is, but
that motherfucker worked hard for that shit.
He got open.
He knew what to do.
What if that? No, that wouldn't have been a long snapper. It'd be funny if it was.
If they're sending our long snapper out there as the fire drill play, then maybe it's not Tyler Buckner's fault. Number 25 is find it who 25 is. Devin, Dylan Devison. I can't say
Dylan
that name.
Devison. He was like a walk-on quarterback, and
now he's a running back. It's either him or Preston Zinter. It's probably not Preston Zinter.
I don't think it's Preston Zinter.
Yeah.
By the way, we can also blame Tyler Buckner for getting Noah Burnett injured on that play.
Goldman Sachs got themselves such a great player.
He's a team player. You can say that.
He's fucking. I can't say that word on live.
All right. So let's get into the game. Boise State at number 21 Notre Dame. According to our friends over at Novig, who gave us the odds here, Notre Dame is a 20.5-point favorite at home. This number has only kind of went up. I believe it opened up at 14.5. The over/under still really high for this one, in 62.5. Again, just side note, if you want to go ahead and get these odds, go score you some free money on hit Notre Dame minus 20.5. You make sure you use code VOCFBND when you sign up for Novig. Participants must be 21 years or older. And if you have a gambling problem, make sure you call one.
If you have a gambling problem, keep digging. Okay, someday you're gonna find diamonds. Someday you're gonna find them. Or maybe lower in your units. That's also an option.
First things first, since we do have the odds up, what do you think about the spread, and what do you think about the over/under?
I got the I got it. I got a 17.5. That was on Sunday though. Okay. I took 17.5. My rule is if it's within, I try to do my touchdowns, field goals. Yeah. So, and that's within a field goal. So I would say take the spread on this. The over, I feel like we can hit. I don't think, realistically speaking, I know Boise State's defense is as bad as Arkansas's.
Yeah.
It's not that much better. I could definitely see us hitting 45 points. Now, the thing with Boise State is, and it's got to be one of those games, we should dominate them in the trenches. USF dominated Boise State in the trenches. I would say our trenches are just as good as USF's. I would think that we're going to be able to do well against them. And it's got to be about getting those key early stops, get them off schedule.
Yeah. So do you expect another huge game?
My question is, Ryan, where are you watching this game?
I am not going to this one.
So are you going to watch it at home? Are you going somewhere else? Because I know we lost to Marshall and you weren't at home, and we lost to NIU last year and you weren't at home. This is our MAC game, so
if I gotta get a what do you call those things? A leg monitor to make sure that I stay home at all times.
Yeah, you're in house arrest Saturday.
I'll go watch it at the bar. How about that?
No, don't do that. Stay at home. You don't need to be drinking.
Hey, speaking of which, you know what? We did get our first road win of the year with me in attendance.
That's true. We're almost on a 2-game drought.
But yeah, if I was taking, I'd take the over as well. I think more so not that I think it's going to be a shootout or anything. I just think Notre Dame's probably going to put up 40 plus again. I also think this is a game where we have Jeremiah Love goes absolutely nuts again. As Sean hops in fashionably late, as always.
Wow, Sean.
What's up, man?
Mm-hmm.
We're 50 minutes of importance for this guy.
Mm-hmm. We taking over unders?
So the spread's 20.5, and we're talking the over and under 62.5. What do you think?
I take whatever Notre Dame is, like more than 20.5. So is that over? Yeah. Over.
That's well, that's how much they think Notre Dame will win by is 20.5.
Yeah. So I think over that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your guys' thoughts on this game? Since Sean kind of hops in, I'll let Sean kind of go. What are your thoughts on this game? Are you kind of expecting another high explosive output from the offense?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I expect us to score more than 40 points, and I expect us to defensively allow 38 points. But, I mean, I hope that our defense can kind of do what they did against Arkansas. I know you all probably already talked about it, but I think I'm not yet sold on the defense like some people because I felt like Arkansas was my dog. A lot of self-inflicted wounds. So drops kind of, and then when they were down so much, it kind of, I don't know, settled in, I guess. But yeah, I expect this to be just another blowout. Kind of like if UCF can blow them out, we should be able to blow them out.
Yeah, I also think,
Boise
State is a heavy run team. Ever since they lost to USF, they've just been running down teams' throats. They got a really good back. He's nowhere near Ashton Genty levels.
Wait. I want to point this out. Frable, what was your argument why Ashton Genty wasn't better than Jeremiah Love? Boise State was going to make the playoffs again this year because Boise State was so good, even with Ashton. That's why they made the playoffs last year, and that's why they were the 4th seed because Ashton Genty was so good.
I'm sorry. I thought Maddox Madsen, who threw for 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns, I thought
it's easy to do that when they stack the box and your wide receivers on one-on-ones the whole time on the outside.
And Genty before this last week, and the Bears had a top 5 worst rush defense. To be fair, Genty.
Oh, you saying he hasn't done much? Yeah.
I mean, box score wise, if you're a box score watcher, he looks like shit. When you watch the game, you kind of know he's gonna be good. He's just not able to get it right now.
His offensive line is terrible.
Yeah,
like the Raiders' offensive line is dog doo-doo. But getting back to this game, they don't have Ashton Genty, so Latrell Caples is their best receiver. Maddox Madsen, again, I know you brought up the defensive concerns, Sean, but to me, I'm not as worried about our run defense, especially against a team like Boise, who is undersized in the trenches on both the defensive and offensive line compared to us. I think this is a game where I don't think they're going to have a lot of success running the ball, and I don't trust Maddox Madsen to throw the ball. We saw it against South Florida, and South Florida stopped the run and made him drop back and pass, and it was a complete shit show. Go ahead, Ben.
I think this will be a Christian Gray game. We will either be screaming, what the fuck is wrong with this fucking kid? Why is he on our fucking team? Or being, oh my God, he's a top 10 corner. He's finally fixed. This is a Christian Gray game. Because what we're going to do is we're going to set it up for Maddox Madison? Is that his name?
Madsen.
Madsen. Combine them.
We're going to set it up for him to try to beat us on the throw. Because if they try to beat us on the run, I feel like it's not going to end better for them. So I feel like they're going to try to throw the ball a lot more. So this will be a Christian Gray game. Christian Gray will either because Lattimer's supposed to play.
I do want to ask.
He's questionable. He's questionable.
A lot of people were kind of like, "Oh, like it doesn't matter." I never root for USC, and I only did yesterday or last weekend because
schedule.
Yeah, and I just think like everyone's just talking about, oh, who cares? Oh, who cares? Like these are big hits. Pitt lost. USC lost. Some of our NC State, I think, lost, right? Or were they on bye week? Yeah, like it's like
NC State lost at home. NC State lost at home to Virginia Tech, who had just fired.
There's no Navy's our only hope for a fucking ranked win, unless USC somehow in the next 2 weeks gets back as a little bit of a ranked.
If they beat Michigan, they can.
There's a big difference in a team beating a team that's 24 than beating a team that's 15. If we beat USC when they were top 15, that would have looked solid for our schedule.
If we blow out a team that's top 25. That's going to look solid for our schedule.
But I'm going to be honest with you. USC is the one game the rest of the season that I don't think will be a blowout. I think it's going to be
I think we need to treat it like we're going to blow them out because we need to do every game. Like we can.
See, here's my thing about that, Sean. I think I don't know if you watched the Illinois game from start to finish. I watched bits and pieces of it on my phone at the game. Illinois ran down USC's throat at will. I don't see much of a difference in USC's defense this year compared to USC's defense last year.
But I think they're all good enough to crush our defense.
Do you think Jordan Mailata is a better quarterback than Taylor Green?
Yes.
How much better?
Pretty bit better.
A pretty bit better. Like
that's where it can win them games. Not this game, but some games.
If Gray, I think Arkansas quarterback's probably in the C's, and even if it's a B, it's a whole letter grade up. Like a whole letter.
Because my thing with Mailata, right, is we saw last year he had turnover problems. He's a guy he's a typical Lincoln Riley quarterback that wants to drop back 40 plus times. Again, I just don't think you can say all you want about our defense. I think USC's defense is way worse, and I think the problem is their run defense is atrocious. So to kind of counteract our defense, we can just run it with Jeremiah Love down their throat.
I think we win the game. I just don't think we blow them out. But this is my thing, and people, we after beating Arkansas pretty handedly, only moved up one spot. Right?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
We talked about that. I feel like one of the main reasons we only moved up one spot is just because of everything else went around.
Yeah, I don't know
how other teams have looked.
But let's think about it on the aspect of when Penn State loses again to Ohio State, they're probably going to fall to like 15, 14. Right?
They're not going to drop them below us, which I think would be
the
insane.
reason we fell was because the back-to-back.
I think they're going to drop us. I think if we go on to be undefeated and then Penn State loses to Ohio State, I think Penn State goes below us 100%. But I think Penn State goes above us if they beat IU.
Yeah, but I agree. But let's bring this up, right? Like people are just sitting here saying, here's my thoughts. We played 4 games? We're 2-2. We have 8 games left to move up 10 spots. 10. It's not 9 because the 12 seed will go to a group of 5 team more than likely. We'll be 11. We'll need to be 11, right? So move up. It's possible, and if we keep winning, but like what always happens, the college football poll rankings are always different. I could see us being like 13 in the AP poll, and then we're 16, 17 in the college football playoff poll. I think
we also see us being higher in the college. We were higher in the college football playoff poll last year compared to AP poll.
It just really depends.
No. The
People,
final 8 people, we were number 5.
No, the first 8 people, when the college football playoff came out, we were one spot higher in the college football playoffs than the AP were.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about 8 people.
No, the final one, no, I don't remember what we were, but
I'm
first
just saying,
one that came out, we were.
people are assuming a 10-2 Notre Dame gets in. It's not a guarantee.
It's not if it comes out to being like how it was last year. Florida State's a 2-loss team. That's why I think it will be. I think we make it in. We're the only other 2-loss team as an ACC school that we hadn't played, which is Florida State. But I think we're in.
There are going to be way more than 10-2 teams. Way more.
I don't think so. I think it'll be a situation where
There was 6 last year.
like
there are going to be. There's no way all these teams in the top 10, like Georgia, I could see them slipping up one more time and making it a 10-2. Like Tennessee with 2 losses probably gets in over us. I can almost guarantee they get in over us with 2 losses.
We're going to have 3 losses. Either them or Alabama will have 3 losses.
See, here's my thing.
Because they have to play each other. They have to play each other, and they both have to play Oklahoma. And they both have to go to at least Vandy or Missouri.
I was listening to Ari talk about this too. He's like, well, Notre Dame could be caught in the same situation Miami was last year, right? Where they went 10-2.
The difference is who lost to, though.
I said, but that's what I said is the difference is, and he didn't bring this up. I said
they happened.
We could have lost to potentially 2 of the top 4 seeds in college football by a combined 4 points. And I think, again, that who you have wins against matters. But ultimately, I think if you're looking at a 10-2 Notre Dame compared to a 10-2 Tennessee, and then you look at, okay, yeah, Tennessee might have better wins because the SEC always has ranked teams, but Notre Dame has way better losses. I think they would get, especially with, I think a lot of it would be, they would give Notre Dame the benefit of the doubt based off of last year's results and bring that into, well, Notre Dame lost to NIU last year, went to the national championship, plus the brand recognition.
I don't think they'll look at that at all. I think what they're going to look at is one, they're going to look at Notre Dame lost 2 games to start the season. They're going to be a lot better than those 2 games were.
Losses at the beginning of the year are always better than at the end. But
yes,
when we keep winning, I could see a point where people like I could see. And this is where I asked this question to my brother-in-law, who's a Penn State fan. Mm-hmm. I do agree that in a certain extent, there are a difference between conference and no conference. However, if a team is 10-2 and doesn't play in the conference championship, there is no difference between them and Notre Dame at that point.
None. I don't either.
There's no difference. So if Penn State beats, and the difference is they would have Indiana now, but if they beat lose to Ohio State and lose to Oregon and then beat Indiana and Notre Dame beats USC if they're ranked, right? You look at 10-2 both. How do you decide between those two, right? And that's where I think that we're going to run into an issue. I don't think it's going to be like Miami. I think I've always said this, undefeated, you're top 4 or 5 seed. 1 loss, you host a playoff game. 2, you're either just in or you're just out. I could see us being the team just out. Because if it, I could see them stacking the playoffs with a bunch.
I think for us to be the team just out, that would mean they have to put a 3-loss SEC team in. You have to look at from last year. Last year was realistically
rankings.
So pull up the rankings. So we have Texas, who's going to be a 3-loss team. Like, let's be real here. They're not beating Oklahoma. They're not beating Georgia. They're not beating A&M.
Don't be surprised if they beat Oklahoma because they won't have
to beat Oklahoma with the backup quarterback, and I'm pretty sure John's supposed to be back for that game because they have a bye week in between. It's a 3-week injury. He comes back that week.
Okay.
So Texas is at least a 3-loss team. Maybe they get the upset against Georgia or A&M. I don't think it's either happening. I think they're going to be a 4-loss team. Penn State will be a 2-loss team. So we're going to have 4 Big Ten teams in. It's got to be IU, Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, same as last year, unless something crazy happens and Indiana loses. Or if Penn State loses to IU. Which helps us no matter what. You look at Georgia. Georgia then has to go and play Texas, who they're going to beat, and they play Georgia Tech. And they have to play Ole Miss. So there's either Ole Miss who gets a loss, or it's Georgia who gets a loss. I mean, Georgia's 2 losses.
With 2 losses. They're both getting in.
Yeah, or
Let me ask
Georgia might lose to Georgia Tech.
real quick. Because Texas's schedule, right, outside of Ohio State and Georgia, it's on par with Notre Dame's, right? I think Vanderbilt is like their only other ranked opponent, and that
We
game
got screwed with Georgia Tech winning. By the way, they could have lost that game.
But if it comes down to a 10-2 Texas and a 10-2 Notre Dame, you got to put Notre Dame in there because Texas, their best win would, if they went 10-2, their best win would be against Vanderbilt. But realistically, it's probably going to end the season before.
Their best win would Texas' best win would either be Oklahoma or A&M.
And if they beat A&M and we didn't, they will be in over us.
Never mind.
I just don't think Texas is going to be I don't think Texas is going to be a 2-loss team.
Let's talk about this, right? So I don't disagree. Like I got your 4 Big Ten, right? We got those locked. There is a chance for 2 to 3, but I think 2. I think 2 ACC teams will get in. I don't know who, but I think
just like last year.
I think Miami
Miami. It's got to be Miami, Georgia Tech. It's got to be Miami, and then Georgia Tech or Florida State.
So let's talk about this. So that's 6. Group of 5 makes it 7. Now let's talk about the SEC after 7 spots. If Alabama, if whoever, I don't know, but they're probably going to have 4 or 5. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right there. If that's
and you got to have the
Big 12 that's assuming a lot though.
And you got to have the Big 12 champion.
I would say there's only 2 teams right now in the SEC that are currently ranked in the top 20 or top 15 that have a guaranteed of being at, like, Ole Miss will probably end up only being a 2-loss team. Even if they lose to Georgia and Oklahoma, they're going to be a 2-loss team because they're not going to lose to South Carolina, the Citadel, or Mississippi State or Florida. They're not going to lose to them.
They could lose to Mississippi. They could lose to Mississippi State. Mississippi where's that game at?
It's at Ole Miss.
Oh,
we had so many close. Like if Tennessee lost, if Georgia Tech lost, this would look way clearer. But
that's the thing though. That there's situations though where we're starting to see certain teams aren't as good as like what we thought they've been throughout this whole like regular season. And we thought they've been that good because they haven't played anyone that's able to pick apart their flaws. The more that we get into the season, the more film that's going to come out on these players who are doing really well. And the more it's going to be able to pick apart their flaws. And we're going to be able to be like, oh, Georgia Tech doesn't have a passing game. Oh, let's stack the box and make their wide receivers work us out on the one-on-one on the outside. Florida State doesn't have the ability to get back. Florida State, let's go over top of them. You look at Georgia. Georgia probably, it's safe for me to say it, Georgia could lose to Ole Miss. They could also lose to Texas, which is perfect for us because Texas is going to be a 3-loss team.
I mean, let's talk about this. Any 2-loss SEC team will get in over Notre Dame. Doesn't matter.
I don't think.
I think, yeah, I can agree with that.
What if it's a situation like last year where Ole Miss was behind Alabama and
Ole Miss had 3 losses.
No, Ole Miss had 2.
Ole Miss had 3.
They had 2
last year, Ole Miss, Alabama, and South Carolina all had 3 losses at the end of the year.
Yes.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss had 3. They lost to Kentucky, South Carolina, and
Ole Miss lost to Bama. I know. I thought Ole Miss beat South Carolina.
There was no 10-2 team left out of the playoffs other than Miami.
Yeah. Well, unless non-Power 5 teams, but yeah. Because AV was 10-2.
Ole Miss was. Oh, they lost to Florida. That's what kept them out.
But my thing is, if there are a bunch of 2 losses, that's where the issue can arise. I do think we'll be in over 3-loss teams, but there's a chance that some of these teams split against each other. What if Texas beats Georgia, and then A&M beats Texas, and then A&M loses to Bama? I don't know the schedule.
John, the good thing is that all of these SEC teams play each other.
I guarantee you, though. I guarantee you, if the conference championship is 1 loss to A&M against 2-loss Georgia, A&M beats Georgia, and they finish the year 10-3. A 10-3 loss in the SEC championship will be above Notre Dame at 10-2. Guarantee that too. Guarantee.
But then the way with the SEC and how it works now, it's not just because you win your part of the conference, you're automatically in the championship game.
Yeah.
So now you have to do that. I just looking at the top 25. Ole Miss, if Ole Miss does what Ole Miss loves to do, which is fucking do stupid. Ole Miss probably makes it at 10-2. A&M, I think, is probably going to win the SEC because they kind of had their moment this week where are they going to be able to bounce back? I'm doing the 6-7 thing. But it's one of those things where you're tossing it up. Like you're trying to figure out, is A&M going to be able to bounce back and win this game that they're really trying to blow up right now? And they're able to stick through. I think Mike Elko is doing an amazing job at Ole Miss. It's one of those things that you see that you don't really see that much outside of, not Ole Miss, at A&M. But you haven't seen the pass at A&M.
Yeah.
Alabama or Tennessee will not make it because I don't think either of them beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma will make it, so that's 3. And then Georgia at 4.
And then
Georgia,
5.
You know what?
Notre Dame 5.
What really?
And then you have 1 Big 12. You might have 2 ACCs. You probably have 4 Big 10, and you have the
We
1.
need to hope that Florida State loses to Miami. Give them 2 losses. We'll jump them. We will jump them if they lose to Miami.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
And then we need to hope that
we hope Florida State loses by 20.
We also need to hope Georgia Tech doesn't win out. We need them to slip up.
I think Georgia Tech is such a beatable team. Yeah, I was telling Frable about this. Georgia Tech, their schedule this year, there's a lot of trap games. I don't know if they're going to be able to figure it out and get through. And they have to play Georgia at the end of the year. Like that game against Virginia Tech next week is a trap game. NC State, not NC State, Duke might be a trap game just because Duke's run defense is that good.
Yeah.
Like we saw what Duke did against NC State. Like they shut down the run basically, and they made NC State fucking throw.
Realistically, then this is something I would worry about if I am Notre Dame. We saw it last year, right, with the bid thief of Clemson, who came out of nowhere and took Alabama's final spot. Because Alabama was going to get that final spot, and so Clemson won the ACC championship on championship weekend. Was a bid thief.
Florida State.
That would be something. If you're Notre Dame, I think the best you can hope for is getting an 11 seed, because I think the G5 has that 12 seed kind of locked up. But
so G5 is ranked above us, which is no G5 school currently ranked above us. But
yeah, I think then at that point you would just hope for, you'd have to hope on championship weekend that Chalk holds.
Let's talk about this though. We talked. Do we even say Big Ten as a spot? I don't even think we count the Big Ten as a spot.
Yeah, they have 4. I have them getting 4 spots. I have them getting Penn State, Oregon, IU.
Big 12, I meant to say.
Big 12's getting 1. I was talking with Ryan earlier. The Big 12, the leap that we expected from the Big 12 is not happening. They're at least if it's happening, it's not happening from top to bottom, and they're all jumping together. But the competition level at the Big 12 is at the same right now. Big 12, I think, has only got to end up getting 1 spot.
Yeah.
It's got to be the conference champ.
People are guaranteeing a Notre Dame at 10-2 will get in. I don't think I really think it's 50-50 as of now.
I think it's 50-50, but I also think that it's going to change a lot more. Like, realistically, you looked at last year, it was 50-50 around this point as well, realistically. Because at the time, it was like, oh, all these, like, Alabama, they're not going to lose to Oklahoma on the road. Like, Oklahoma sucks. Like, that's what we all thought.
You're right.
Ole Miss isn't going to lose to Florida. We didn't think that. Oh, IU with 1 loss, they're probably not going to make – that was something that was talked about. The IU with 1 loss probably should not make it in, even though they have 1 loss to Ohio State.
They proceeded to get drugged, which or dragged.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd love to
by
go
the
to
way,
IU this year after that.
By the way, here's my thing, Sean, because I asked Ben this. If Penn State loses to Ohio State and Notre Dame's 10-2, Penn State's 10-2, neither one of them get in the conference championship. Who are they putting it if it's the final
They're
spot?
putting Penn State because they beat Indiana, and that's a top 10.
Are we, bro?
Yes.
All right.
Frable, if they beat Indiana, that means they beat a college football playoff team. Yes.
See, the thing is, I don't really think Indiana is all that good.
I mean, Indiana just crushed Illinois, and Illinois yet ran down.
Who does Indiana?
Illinois is big. I'm going to say this. Indiana got, and I'm not saying that means that Illinois should have not lost by fucking 30, but Illinois also got fucked up by the fact their 2 best cornerbacks were out, and their safety had to sit the first half due to a targeting penalty.
So, okay, who does Indiana play on the schedule outside of Penn State?
The only teams I think they could lose to is possibly
Michigan
State. I don't think they play Michigan. They have outside their top 25 games this year. They really don't play anybody.
So that's
Iowa was the stumper. I remember
They're
that.
gonna get in. They're gonna get in the playoff again because they have such an easy schedule. That's.
I wouldn't say that.
They play Oregon, they play Penn State, and they play Michigan State. Yeah, they play Oregon.
Oh, they're gonna be a 2-loss team, if not a 3-loss team.
And does a 2-loss Indiana get in over a 2-loss Notre Dame?
They should not.
Should.
Because let's be realistic. By the time they play Oregon, they'll probably be like 7. If they lose to a top 3 Oregon, they're only going to fall to like 7 to 10. And then
okay, but Sean, we could play that. What if Miami by that point as the number 1 team in the nation, and Notre Dame had a 3-point loss on the road?
Fravel, you're forgetting the main thing that they blew out a team. Like they blew out Illinois, who's going to be probably finish the top 25 team.
And then if they're 10 and lose to Penn State when they go up to like 9, they're probably not going to fall below Notre Dame.
So is the committee just not going to value the losses to A&M and Miami?
They will.
They're going to in that situation. Because they're going to value them in this way: 2 losses to Miami and Texas A&M by a combined 4 points makes it so we could say those are the best losses you could possibly have. So we're not going to put a 3-loss team in front of them. Maybe some 2-loss team. Like maybe if there's something like we're not going to lose out to a Big 12 team who has 2 losses and only played 1 team in the top 25 and they lost to that team.
Yeah.
We're not going to lose out on that. But Indiana beat Illinois, who's probably got to finish the season top 25.
Because my argument would be, yes, Indiana might have a better win, but I think it would be Notre Dame has better losses than you have wins. Like our losses are better than your best win.
Let's talk about this. I'm very intrigued by this. I do think if Florida State loses this weekend, we will jump them because they're 3 spots ahead of us. But Florida State finishes 10-2. Notre Dame finishes 10-2. Florida State beat Alabama. Does that put them in over us?
Oh, dude!
It depends on how bad the Miami loss is. It depends on how bad how they look in these other games. Like, and we're gonna have. Well, they're ranked right now because they beat Florida State. We don't know if Virginia's got finish season ranked. At the time of the game, it was an unranked win, and it was a fucking bad unranked win. Virginia legitimately had 2 AP votes last week, and now they're in the top 25.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're gonna have to compare and contrast schedules. I think if Florida State loses to Miami, I definitely could see them losing to Georgia Tech as well because they play Georgia Tech, right? Am I right with that?
Yeah. Oh, Miami? No, they don't play Georgia Tech. They don't have to face.
Florida State. Florida State plays Georgia Tech.
Florida State plays Clemson, and I could see
Clemson, not Georgia Tech.
And here's my thing, right? And I know the committee's not going to do this because I don't think, even though I think it's a normal thing for us fans to do, how I would look at it personally, if it came down to like a Notre Dame, Penn State, Notre Dame, Indiana conversation, I would look at, okay, if Indiana played A&M, do we think Indiana beats A&M? If Indiana played Miami, do we think Indiana beats Miami? And then it would be, if no, do we think that they would compete like Notre Dame did with those 2 teams? If the answer is no,
I think for Penn State, if Penn State loses by 1 or 2 scores to Ohio State, they will get in. Penn State is
so annoying. Dude, I've never seen a team that's so annoying that just gets to lose their 2 biggest games every year.
Right. And do me a favor. Do this for fun. Let's do it because this is my brother-in-law is a Penn State fan. Pull up the Penn State 2026 schedule. I sent this to him and said, this is the perfect schedule for you after losing everything. But my God, that might be the easiest, even easier than Michigan schedules. Easiest schedule I have ever seen in my life. Next season. Easiest I have ever. Like when I mean ever.
So they play Marshall. They play Marshall at Temple, Buffalo, at Maryland, at Michigan, at Northwestern, Minnesota, Purdue, Rutgers, USC, Wisconsin, and at Washington.
They play every bottom team in the Big Ten, and they're 3
besides Michigan,
Washington, USC, and Michigan. And those aren't even like any heavy hitters. Michigan maybe, But
Dude,
that is
you can't tell me that the Big Ten doesn't do that shit on purpose so that the top tier teams can have easier
Well, I
paths to the
think it's
playoffs.
just the way the math works on that. Like Ohio State's had it happen. It's a shock. It's not a shocker about IU. One of the easiest schedules. Then the next year has 2 top 10 teams they have to play. It's just the way it works with the scheduling.
Yeah.
Usually you have that happen. Like I
but
remember there was Ohio State without the Michigan game. They didn't play a single top 25 team.
but yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I hope we get in. I want us to get in. I want us to make that run. I think if we get in, I mean, I really want to see Love in the playoffs again. I really do.
The thing I do hate though is that the whole conversation around this, right? And I guarantee you it's going to come up if we get left out at 10-2 is I can already see it from people in our fan base is, well, maybe we shouldn't have been stupid and scheduled 2 top 10 opponents in the first 2 games of the season. Maybe we should have scheduled cupcakes like everybody else. Like I can that because that was already an argument after we lost to both Miami and A&M.
I do think what helps Notre is they would win 10 straight games to end the year. You shouldn't go down from that. You can only go up, right? It is concerning to see one spot, and it's
I'm not concerned about it yet. If we see it, if it's becoming a pattern, I would be, but it's not yet. Like if we get to week 6, not week 6, we're fuck. If we get past USC and we're not, if we keep moving up one spot, then I'd be concerned.
How much did we move up 2 weeks after the NIU loss? Because we won 2 straight.
I think we moved up to 20 after it. Let me look.
I feel like we moved up a decent amount.
After the NIU loss?
No, I'm saying the 2 games we won after the NIU game, where did we move? Because we dropped from like 7 or 5 to like 20 something.
So by the Miami game, we were ranked 17.
So we moved up from where? After NIU, after we lost NIU.
After NIU, Purdue, we were 18. We went up to 17. And then after Miami, we moved to 16.
But here's my thing. We finished the year, what, 7, right? 6 or 7?
Well, in the AP poll, we were 5.
College football playoff poll, what were we, 6 or 7?
7.
7. So that's a 5-spot difference, I think. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like, shit, you know?
I don't think it's that. Well, also, you have to look at it this way. So Stanford game, we were 11th in the country. We actually got moved down in the AP poll after a Stanford game. If you guys remember, that's because Vandy beat Alabama. Or no, Alabama just beat Georgia.
I think it was Alabama beat Georgia.
Yeah. So Alabama just beats Georgia. All that shit happens. After the Stanford game, we got moved up. So all this different shit's happening. Then the college football playoff poll comes out. We go from 12 to 11. Navy game, we were 11. Florida State, we were 10.
By multiple scores. We need to blow out teams. We have to.
That's what we did last year.
Yeah. But I'm just saying we have to. We have to.
The USC game, we were the 5th best team in the country.
Yeah.
Ranked 5 by the USC game. That's why I believe that by the Stanford game this year, we could be in the top 10. I think we could be 10 by the Stanford game. Because one thing, like we can look at like, oh, just a pattern of moving up. We're only moving up one by one. But we gotta remember teams start playing each other. These ranked teams start playing each other. These teams start losing teams they shouldn't lose to. The college football is not going to be a perfect lateral. It's going to have ups and downs when it comes to the ranked teams.
I just wish that, and I hope the committee does this year, but I wish that people, and I hope the committee does this, value, instead of having your record like Penn State be inflated because for the first 4 weeks of the season you played FCS school northwest of the deaf and blind for the first 4 weeks of the season. Instead of playing 2 ranked opponents, you got to prop yourself up. I feel like they should not necessarily reward.
That's why I don't give it. I'm gonna say something completely like douchebag for me to say this. I could give a shit less what the AP poll says.
Yeah.
AP poll is just like for us to have an understanding. College football playoff poll, that's what matters. End of the season, week 12 CFP, that's what matters. Or 12 after 12 game CFP, That's what matters in my mind. I care about that.
I want to ask this, right? Well, hold on. You keep talking, Ryan. Let me get my train of thought back.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm just think
yeah.
that you should said not that you should be rewarded for it, but I think teams that play hard opponents within the first few weeks of the season, like Ohio State, Texas, my Notre Dame, Miami, Notre Dame, A&M, Florida State, Alabama. I don't think you should be penalized as much for those losses as other teams should be penalized for losses later in the season. That's just my opinion because I think it's harder to play a top 10 team that in the first week of the season.
Yeah, I agree. Let's not forget there's always 1 week in college football, and that it's just upset goal.
Upsets. Yeah.
Always.
It kind of felt like this week might be that week. Like IU was down, Mississippi State or Tennessee was down.
I thought it would be it too.
Yeah, but
we're
but they're
gonna do
teasing. College football's a mistress. They're teasing us. They're teasing us. Then they're gonna give us that splooge of upsets.
We'll end this. Does Notre Dame make it at 10-2? Ryan.
Yes.
I think so.
I say yes, but I don't think it's a guarantee like people are saying.
It's not a guarantee. I think so though.
I say I will give you my percentage chances after the college football playoff. First one gets announced.
Notre Dame's, because what I'm interested are rest of the
right now Notre Dame's is what 32%.
The rest of our playoff chances are 11 right now.
Or 11? Oh, what was 32%?
No. The ESPN FPI after Arkansas went up to 36%.
Okay.
Yeah. It jumped.
I will say this. If Notre Dame, their strength of schedule remaining for the year is like 68. What is our total strength of schedule this year for the whole season? I know it'll subject to change.
The first 2 weeks, the first 3 weeks of the season, through the first 3 weeks, we had the number one strength of schedule.
I know, but you gotta, but I say yes too.
So real quick, and we'll kind of get out of here. Score predictions for Notre Dame, Boise State.
45-27.
45-27. Ben?
52-17.
So 56 has kind of been the lucky number the last 2 weeks. I'm going to go Notre Dame 56, Boise State 20.
Okay.
And that's going to be mine. I think we score 56 points for 3 straight weeks in a row.
Are we doing the pick'ems?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that real quick. Just 1 second. Let me get this.
Are you even tracking our pick'ems? Or no, we're just picking.
Yeah,
I'm going to track him at the end of the year because it's a lot to kind of.
All right.
I have it recorded, so I have everything on there. What we have.
We ain't gonna go back and look at these videos for the pick'ems.
Yeah.
We're gonna get that one viewer every.
He said, "Yeah."
All right. West Virginia at BYU.
What about pick'ems?
Yeah, pick'ems.
BYU.
Should be BYU.
I'm gonna go. Fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna go West Virginia in the upset.
You're taking the 20-point underdog.
Yes. Give me the.
I mean,
give me Kentucky at Georgia.
Georgia,
But low key, give me the spread. Give me the Kentucky 20.5.
All right. Illinois at Purdue.
Illinois. I hope Purdue.
Well, Purdue almost beat them last year.
How the fuck is Illinois only a 10-point favorite?
Illinois. I mean, to be fair, we were like, what, a 7-point favorite?
But yeah, but it's coming off a win. Give me Illinois.
Yeah, give me Illinois in that one. Ben's alma mater, Iowa State at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's actually favored in this game by 1.5.
You know, I think I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I think.
You see. Yeah, give me Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm taking
I will be taking the Iowa State money line because then I'm at least happy in some way.
And that'll
Yeah, I
be big.
think-
for
No,
me.
I saw this video. It was this Penn State grad. He put $6,000 on Oregon money line. So he thought to himself, how much would this win matter? Like in his heart, like how much money would it cost him? He's like $6,000. So he's like, it's either I'm happy. I'm like, oh, I lost. And this guy, like, he's a multimillionaire. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I lost $6,000, or I'm upset, but at least I doubled my money. So I'm doing that this week. I'm putting $100 on Iowa State money line.
So, yeah, I'm taking Cincinnati in that one as well. Wisconsin at Michigan.
I want to pick Wisconsin, but Luke Fickell's falling apart. I just think Michigan probably wins this game.
This seems like a trap game, kind of. Like, just not trap game, but like a fall off game, because like Michigan's gonna think about Wisconsin. They're gonna think about USC next week. That's what they're really thinking about. I would take Michigan, but the spread of, if you get at 17, isn't terrible.
Yeah, I'm going to take Michigan as well in this one. Texas at Florida. I think I'll let you guys go, but this has trap game.
I said
all
this.
over it.
When I saw the big four back to back to back with Florida, Miami, Texas, all that, clip this. It'd be funny. There is no way they go 0-4. They have to win one of them, right? They have to win one of them. Blagway's struggling. I just don't. The defense,
Arch is struggling.
give me Florida.
Oh,
Give me Florida. I just think that they've struggled lately. They're going to be at home. They need a big game.
What's going off?
Go ahead, man.
A defensive guy. Florida, I think, has a top 25 defense. Texas, when they played top 25 defense this year, aka the one time they played them, they fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Not bought in on Arch Manning, but I don't know if I'm not bought in enough to say DJ Lagway is going to beat him. Give me Florida. Fuck it. I'm going Florida. I just don't know. I can't trust Arch Manning right now, dude.
Yeah.
He got booed off the fucking field against an FCS school.
My friend's a Texas fan, and he's like, hey, like, he's getting better and better and better. I'm like, he's playing UTEP. Like,
yeah.
Did you see where he
Like,
flexed?
Drew Pine got better and better and better when he played fucking Bowling Green and Miami the school of blind and deaf.
all right, Ryan.
Did you guys saw that Arch Manning flexed on that Sam Houston State?
Yeah.
He flexed on the future fucking Uber driver is insane.
You know what? Fuck it, because I do want to go Florida in this one, but because you guys went Florida, I'll take Texas in this one. I'll be different.
Oh, you'll take the favorite. You'll take the fucking 7-point favorite. How sad.
Vanderbilt at Alabama. College game
Alabama.
day will be there. That didn't take you very long. Ben?
How about Diego Pavia?
Alabama's revenge game, man. They beat them last year.
Fucking Diego Pavia in the I don't even know what Vandy is.
And the fucking
Okay.
Commodores, man.
Is that the last pick 'em? Or is it Florida State, Miami? Give me Miami.
The Commodores. The Commodores.
We got a few more, don't we?
Yeah, we got a few more.
Okay.
So you're going with Vandy, Ben?
Going with Vandy, yep.
Yeah, I'm taking the Fighting Diego Pavias. He said he came back to Vandy to win an SEC championship and a national championship. He's undefeated against schools from the state of Alabama.
I want
He's
to point
there.
out if fucking Vandy wins this game, we need Alabama to beat Tennessee. Like,
All right, guys. I gotta hurry up.
yeah,
All right,
let's go
all
on.
All right. Let's see. Texas Tech at Houston.
Houston.
Tech.
Oh, Texas Tech. Texas Tech. Sorry.
I'm going Texas Tech. Virginia, ranked Virginia at Louisville, both undefeated.
Louisville.
Louisville.
I'm taking UVA. Miami at Florida State.
Miami.
Miami. Mississippi State at Texas A&M.
A&M.
Texas A&M, and that's it. All right. We got through that quick. It's been a
Ohio
long show.
State, Minnesota.
No, because we're going to pick Ohio State.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
All right. But anyways, for all the 91 people tuning in right now, make sure you go over to the Voice of College Football Notre Dame. Drop a sub, like, comment. Go get yourself a nice Voice of College Football shirt or hat or hoodie. Every dollar that is used towards that goes towards getting Ben a better headset, better Wi-Fi. Goes towards Sean getting an actual laptop to stream off of. So we appreciate that. In all seriousness, we appreciate all you guys tuning in. For your host, Ryan Fravel, my co-host, Ben, and Sean, who is fashionably late by 50 minutes. We will be back next week, same time. As always, guys, stay safe and go Irish.
Go Irish.